I'm normally on here talking about right-leaning issues, mostly because today the left has lost its ever-loving fucking mind, trying to build this idiocracy where people are weak-minded, they're weak in spirit, they're weak in body, in order to allow the Democrats to take and maintain power. And that's all it is. That's all this immigration thing is. That's all. Almost every issue that we're having right now, people are being used like sheep in order to help the Democrats stay in power. Today, what I want to talk about is abortion. I listen to a lot of these conservative speakers take up for abortion, and they're using their hearts instead of their mind, and they make a living telling the left not to use their heart but to use their mind in arguments with them and to use logic. You know, I understand you're coming at it from a religious perspective and you believe that, life begins at conception and you believe all life is sacred. Well, that's fine and good. If you believe that, more power to you. What I hate is the hypocrisy. You oppose Planned Parenthood at every turn. You oppose any type of abortion at every turn. You know, that would be all fine and dandy if you people would get off your ass and actually do something about it. There is a reason why orphanages have been known for centuries as hellholes, as, places of oppressive cruelty and torture, where children were beaten, where children were used as slave labor, where children were raped, where children were rented out and prostituted. I mean, just look at all the stories, look at all the movies, look at the books. Everything refers to an orphanage as a place of horrors. There's a reason why abortion became legal. It's because we don't want to pay for it. As a society, when it comes down to it, when they're doling out the money for defense, when they're doling out the money for the streets, when they're doling out the money for welfare, when they're doling out the money for everything else, the poor little orphanages, which cost an awful lot to maintain, they get overlooked. They get left behind. And those children suffer. So the best thing that we could come up with as a civil society was to, one, stop unwanted pregnancies, which was the duty of Planned Parenthood. Number two, stop unwanted births before they got to that point, which was abortion. They made perfect sense. They still make perfect sense. I don't know why you people on the right oppose Planned Parenthood so much. It does everything you want it or should want it to do. It helps to, number one, it stops the unwanted pregnancies, which normally when people don't want pregnancies is because they can't afford it. And if they can't afford a pregnancy, they can't afford a baby. And if they can't afford a baby, they're more than likely poor. And if they're poor, they're going to bring up that baby also poor. So it helps stop the poverty cycle. It also helps stop crime. It helps stop the welfare cycle. It cuts down on the number of people on welfare. How? It's because it stops them from repopulating and having babies like rabbits. I don't understand your hatred for Planned Parenthood. Your hatred for Planned Parenthood is akin to the left's hatred of the NRA right now. It's absolutely absurd, and the only fucking reason that you oppose it is because it's a pet project of the other side. In reality, the right, Planned Parenthood should be a project of the right, not the left. It accomplishes all your goals. It lifts the society. It doesn't take it down. It just drives me absolutely insane to sit here and listen to all the right-leaning people, Rush Limbaugh, I mean, just you name it, Tucker Carlson, Sean Hannity. You can go down the list of just about every personality on the right, and they all hate Planned Parenthood. They all hate abortion. You know, you can give so much in all these different religions. They've changed so much throughout the years. You know, they used to oppose and hate gay people. Now they accept gay people. Why can't you accept abortion as a part of society, a good part of society? Considering the fact that, you know, in the last 40 years, we went from 3 uh, billion people to 7, almost 8 billion people on this planet. And the number just keeps going up. Granted, it's slowed down, but it's still going up. We're running out of space. We're running out of food. At this point in time, I don't know if you guys know this or not, but at this point in time in America's history, we cannot support ourselves with food without the industrial complex. Without industrial farming, we cannot support our population. If the lights went out tomorrow, more than half the population would starve to death, simply because we cannot grow enough food. Thank you, Walmart. They centralized everything and took away all the local farmers and ran everybody out of business. That's another episode, I guess. But we can't keep having babies like crazy, and you can't teach abstinence because abstinence does not work. I don't care what religion you're in. Teenagers are going to be teenagers. They're going to explore, and they're going to have children. Before, people were going and getting backroom closet abortions. You know, it simply doesn't make any sense. If you want to oppose abortion, how about, as part of your tithing to whatever religion you belong to, how about you create organizations that create orphanages? How about that? How about you put all your money, or a lot of your money, where your mouth is? Instead of running your mouth every day on your shows, instead of running your mouth every day on YouTube, on Twitter, instead of giving to funds that oppose abortion and oppose Planned Parenthood, how about you give all that money to create orphanages that are ran by Christian people, or whatever religion you're into, ran by your religious people, so we know the children are going to be taken care of well. They're funded by your organizations, and they're taken care of by your organizations. And your members can adopt these children. Adopt 2 or 3 or 4 of them. Don't have your own children. Adopt these children. And also, make sure you go out and adopt a special needs child. You know, the type of child that's going to need someone there for them for the rest of their lives. You know, blind, can't hear, can't move very well. Maybe they're mentally challenged in some way, shape, or form. You know, those children that nobody wants, not even their own parents. Why don't you go adopt those children? Why don't you burden yourself for the rest of your life with those children? Because you surely don't mind doing that to the parent of that child, even though it's not their fault that those children came out that way. You don't mind saddling them with that burden. Put your money where your mouth is. Go adopt. Go create orphanages. Stop being like the left. Stop just running your mouth. And remember, if you like this, please click subscribe and click on notifications so you don't miss future videos. If you really, really like this, help support our efforts through the Maker Support or Patreon links below.